Causes of request sent by the client was syntactically incorrect error in Spring JSP applications. Working with Spring and JSP, JavaServer Pages, can sometimes lead to encountering errors that can be perplexing, especially if you are new to the framework. One such error that developers often face is the request sent by the client was syntactically incorrect. This error generally indicates that the server received a malformed request from the client, and it couldn't process it correctly due to syntax issues. Let's delve into some of the common causes and how you might address them. 1. Malformed URL. A malformed URL is one of the primary causes of this error. URLs need to adhere to a specific syntax, and any deviation can result in the server not being able to parse the request. Solution: ensure that the URL being sent from the client is correct and follows the proper syntax. Pay attention to any special characters and spaces that might require encoding. 2. Incorrect HTTP method. Using an incorrect HTTP method for a specific endpoint can also trigger this error. For instance, sending a POST request to an endpoint that expects a GET request can be problematic. Solution: verify that you are using the appropriate HTTP method, GET, POST, PUT, etc., as expected by the server endpoint. 3. Invalid input data. The data being sent from the client might not adhere to expected formats or constraints. This is often the case when dealing with JSON payloads or form submissions. Solution: validate the data on the client side before sending it. Implement server-side validation rules to catch any invalid data before processing the request. 4. Missing required parameters. If the request lacks crucial parameters required by the server, it will be unable to process the request correctly. Solution: ensure that all required parameters are included in the request. You may need to check the server-side code to understand which parameters are mandatory and ensure they are present in the client request. 5. Spring and JSP configuration issues. Sometimes, misconfigurations in Spring and JSP frameworks can cause this error. Issues with view resolvers or controller mappings can prevent the server from correctly interpreting the request. Solution: review your Spring and JSP configurations. Make sure your view resolvers, controller mappings, and other configurations are correctly set up. Conclusion: understanding the potential causes of the request sent by the client with syntactically incorrect error can significantly aid in troubleshooting and resolving the issue. Whether it's due to malformed URLs, incorrect HTTP methods, invalid input data, missing parameters, or configuration issues in Spring and JSP, a thorough examination of the request and your setup will help you pinpoint and resolve the problem effectively. By addressing these common causes, you can minimize the occurrence of this error and ensure smoother client-server interactions in your Spring JSP applications.